Corp.
I love it.
Up against Rogue. What? Wait a minute.
Hey.
They banned Jewel so they could pick it.
Hey.
Oh, no, that's not cool.
That is super evil right there.
All right, well, Nivmet, he's going to be on the Grumpjaw. Interesting. We're going to have to see how that does. Shinkaigen already taking a decent chunk of damage here.
And Gary's got a crystal bit right off the bat. So are we about to see Weapon Jewel, which is incredibly strong.
Nivmet's the roamer then, right? The captain, rather?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I hadn't thought of Grumpjaw necessarily as a captain, more like a bruiser.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are, his jungle position, the captain position is where he would make sense. But, I mean, think about it. As a captain, like, you take someone out of the playing field, what could be better for a roamer to do?
That's a good point, and he's very durable, right? So on the front line, he's going to be able to be quite annoying. He's got the jump, so he can reposition to help a teammate. I mean, I can see plenty of things which would be useful there. You can see his passive underneath his energy there.
Oh yeah, something to keep your eyes on for sure. And we talk about a lot of these teams, even with the heroes we know and love about power spikes and stuff like that. But one of the major power spikes we're going to see in this game is Nivmet hitting level 6.
And I'm also wondering about Gary, right? Playing this blue Rona.
You mean Gary?
Gary. Yeah, I'm wondering about him playing this blue Rona. Like, what's the power spike of the blue? I actually have played a decent amount of this, but I'm bad. So I don't really know in what way it can work, right? But Gary seems to think it can work.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, you don't see it a lot, but if he has a decent early game, gets an item or two up and running, his burst potential could actually be insane.
That's a good point. I mean, I certainly enjoy playing it because at least early on, I feel like you can just delete people. Later, it's a bit dicier. Here goes Nivmet, though, trying to start off a bit of a fight. He's taking a lot of damage. Got to be careful, Hammy, with the first kill. Shin wants more, though. Hammy, he's got turret aggro. Gary, can he do this? He just needs his cooldown. Come up, it's not going to be enough. Hammy, oh, Sibs, the last man standing from the carnage. 3 kills to 2. Rogue do have a bit of an advantage right off the bat here. Are going to get a turret as well.
Sibs had that all calculated before the fight even started. What a legend.
A beautiful mind.
Yep.
All right, well, Super Evil. They didn't have exactly the fight that they were looking for there. But I do think that they showed some promise, right? Like, that fight almost went really
well. It was very close to going the other way. Yeah, it definitely was. So maybe they want to combo up a little better, use the element of surprise a touch more. But yeah, they definitely have a lot of strength there.
And Nivmet, one thing which obviously is going to be massive is just how much of an impact stuffed Grumpjaw's ultimate makes, right? Like, we haven't actually seen him use it yet in the tournament because we haven't seen a level 6 Grumpjaw, but it's very powerful. Gary, look at the damage that he does just from jumping in there. Nivmet wants a little bit more. He doesn't have a turret to retreat to. Nivmet showing why we like to joke around on the desk.
The variants are going to keep coming here. But yeah, I mean, Niv a little grumpier than he was before he jumped in there. Not paying off for him too much.
Yeah, we got Grumpjaws entering the fold and British Jaws entering the talent pool for SEMC. Hammy, look at the damage he's taking right now. Shin, he's down. That's going to be a kill. And not actually the Glimmer Shot connecting there. So Shinkaigen is able to back out.
So no real surprises here in the early game. I mean, it's a little bit of a wild card. Like, Grumpjaw, and I personally got to see him play really well, and really, we're going against this weapons off with a Lyra. That usually means you're going to harder. Yeah, absolutely does, and that's a good point to me. He's super good. This isn't unexpected to an extent, right? To an extent, yeah. So Gary, he picked up the alternating currents. Obviously, quite a powerful weapon for a crystal run to go for, because you do get those attacks quite frequently by virtue of base attack, for example. And of course, you want crystal with bursts on your abilities. On the flip side, you went for a very early crucible. Now, that's an interesting pickup. Didn't go for the straight fountain. Do you like that? Well, if you're watching Lyras out there, they're not forced all the time to get into the fountain just simply because that still gives so much healing to their team. And he's going to just stack up some health. That crucible can be really important, especially when that looks to get in there and that's all whoever else is targeted. Yeah, that's something we've got to talk about. Like, where stuff can be used, how it's going to be used. A big thing for me is the fact that, there are a lot of relatively stationary targets coming out from the It's solid, it's planted in the ground, money moves, that's the option, But so is, perhaps when he's walking to a workshop. Right, that's going to be, a big point is going to be right, like if this is needed, that actually just need, if you take a saw out, then a lot of the damage is taken away from the equation from Rogue, but maybe if you go ahead and use stuff on Evil, then you can just go ahead and take out the saw, and you know he's not going to be able to, so I think it's situational as they get into these fights. Yeah, that's a very good point. We saw it like in Hero spot, like where Martin was taken out of the fight stage. Like it was unbelievable how quickly his teammates died. Normally we're so used to seeing people down popped and Vainglory in that situation. And when they weren't there, it was just evaporating. Yeah. Alright, well, right now, some people are on back foot, but again, somewhat unexpected result. We're playing, oh, and then you can walk out when Gary, what are you doing? Going in versus the dead. So, Gary nearly makes it work, and then trying when they beat Slay, this is a big prey after Gary. It's in no right now, so he does land into the prey on the Sids. They're going to have to back off a little bit, and out there, man, Matt, it is love, Matt, it is life. I mean, I was going to say that I get credit. I'll have to have the past one of your matches here soon, but yeah, of course, it's fun.
His damage is immense, it's massive. He was in a 1v3 situation and did not hesitate. That means that Gary knows exactly what he's doing as he looks to get into these fights. He almost completely deleted, was it Hammy that he went for right away? Like right out of the fight. So knowing that, and knowing that Shin Kaigen's going to ramp up on this weapon jewel, get stronger, stronger, and stronger, I think they're in a good place.
What was that? Gary, indeed.
Some of that blue power
kill
right there coming through.
That was disgusting. Where'd Sims go? Nivmet, he wants a little bit more, though. Stuffed coming across onto Hammy. Hammy is not in a good spot right now. Trying to get into the portal. He barely makes it. Can't Shin find it. Nivmet gets the kill. One shot comes out, but it isn't going to do anything. The big red button just to clear the minion wave. Super evil. They're back in the game.
These guys know what they're doing. Okay, so like, I'm not sure that Shinkaigen's Rocket Leap actually landed, but you could tell that Nivmet, like, when he was going to spit his target out backwards and Shinkaigen was in the air, like they're trying to time these combos right here, right now, and they're doing a pretty good job. This is super fun.
This is super fun and super evil. Man, you can see that Nivmet's experience on the PvE has helped a decent amount. Like, he knows what to do with the Grumpjaw. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He's doing a decent job. Immediately after getting the ultimate, in fact, like when he hits level 6, he goes for the play.
Yeah.
And I think that's something interesting, like we're going to have to watch out for when the main season starts, when we see more competitive play on 2.2. Our Grumpjaw is going to be one of those heroes where you hit 6 and you just make a gank happen.
Well, it looks like it at this point. His ultimate is up right now. It just came off cooldown, so we'll see if he's going to look to have it engage here.
All right. Well, Sibs is nearby, as is the rest of Rogue, so it could be a 3 versus 3 situation if something gets kicked off. I do think that basically Super Evil, in my opinion, they shouldn't fight unless they have stuffed available, though, because there's going to be too much sustain plus like kite out of Rogue, right? Because you've got Imperial Sigil, you've got active camo, you got Dank Shank. I feel like you need the numbers advantage.
Watching the damage output on this Rona right now, I feel like they can actually do whatever they want as long as they do it together. Like, as long as Gary lets his teammates know I'm going in, they're going to be just fine.
Well, he might be going in again sometime soon. I don't know if Super Evil know that Gold Mine is being taken down. I feel it. Are reacting a little bit slowly to this one, not going to be able to stop it. Shinkaigen, I mean, it was close. It was pretty close, like you said, but can't quite find it. Oh, Nivmet missed the ultimate. Oh, man, I'm going to make fun of him later for that one. Gary trying to go into Shinkaigen does not land. Both parts have ended the fray. That is critical for the combo of the Crystal Power, Rona, Evol. Got to be careful here, though. Might need to use that Arcane Passive sometime soon. Look at the damage. Oh, they nearly one shot, one kill. Gary gets taken out. It is a clean ace for Rogue. Super Evil or super dead.
Yeah, getting wrecked in that fight right there. Definitely some miscues. Like, I think when Nivmet misses the ultimate, they should just back off and wait for a really clean engagement. And then also Gary not finding the immediate kill onto his target. Like, he went on to Sibs, Sibs was able to get out of it, and then they repositioned. They just got collapsed on.
Oh, right
Nice.
fork. That was disgusting. Stops Gary and I believe Nivmet there in their tracks.
Yeah.
Can't do anything to stop the turret from going down. Honestly, at this point, based on historical evidence of how they're willing to cheat, it would not surprise me if we cut back from the game after like Super Evil suddenly make a miraculous comeback and it's just pro players sitting there. Right? Like,
Exactly, right?
just their collection of favorite pros.
Well, they got a couple talented guys up there playing right now, actually. I mean, yeah, Shen hasn't been in the competitive scene as of recent, but we know on a world stage he's one of the best players. You talk about Gary, he's one of those guys that's kind of like a little bit secret, we were talking about.
Yeah.
He's played under different names.
And then there's Nivmet.
And then there's Nivmet. We kid, we love him. Dude, you're so harsh on Nivmet today.
He's gonna kill me. All right, Super Evil. What can they do to get back into this one? Gary seems to think it's killing Sid. Look at the damage. But there is the turnaround. Fountain pops as well. Sid's got some health again. Nivmet, he's gonna need to get out of here, but here comes the Arcane Passage. I'm sure he doesn't want to use stuff as an escape. It does technically give you that jump, but instead he's just gonna be picking up Sibs, trying to throw him maybe over the wall, something like that. Oh,
tries to go
Nivmet,
over
no! Doesn't make it. Look how durable he is, though. Very, very tanky stuff there. I feel like Shen, we need to see more from Shen, right? Like, the damage from him isn't always there.
But
Gary goes
that's
in.
Weapon Jewel. Like, Weapon Jewel is not a strong early game pick, but it ramps up. And as you get to the late game, he will be throwing those Thunder Strikes that look just devastating.
But imagine if he just timed his ultimate with Gary's initiation every time. I mean, Gary is nearly, like, within 10
They
health.
should have just gone double blue, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the real commitment there.
That'd be the real evil play.
Well-
Honestly, though, with the way that how much burst damage he has, yeah, I guess you don't want him to like just be able to itemize against you super easy, but that's so much damage output they could probably just take people out.
Question mark?
Yeah, this could actually be like a really legit argument. I think that's a smart call right there.
Well, I mean, I agree that it's a smart call, but I definitely think that in terms of their coordination, I'd like to see that big red button come out when Gary is trying to make that deep dive by himself.
But it makes me feel like that's a communication issue, right? This is Gary seeing an opportunity, but maybe not like getting his team ready for it.
Yeah, it's just like, I see an opportunity, Gary! And he jumps in.
He yells Gary when he goes in. That would actually be the best.
All right, well, Rogue, right now, they're in a pretty good position, about 5,000 gold in the lead over Team Super Evil, about to be even further in the lead as they start work on this gold miner. Super Evil has really calmed down a little bit. Gary's not even going for as many of those bold plays that he was doing earlier on. I think maybe Rogue's gotten into their head a little bit.
But they've also stalled out that saw push a little bit. I mean, granted, Rogue, it's a little bit tougher to get past that choke point turret area on the map, but right now, Super Evil, I thought they did a pretty good job to go ahead and stall that out, as long as they don't lose somebody here.
Yeah, looks like Shin should be able to look at everyone just running. No, Gary, no! Gary, he's got to get out of here. One shot, not even required. Nivmet dives right into it, though. And even though Lyra's in his belly, it's not going to be enough. 2 kills picked up for Rogue. Shin Kaigen got to get out of there.
Yeah, it kind of felt like Gary didn't see that active camo go down.
Yep.
I mean, it's almost as simple as that, right?
I admire his attempt, though. All right, we got Rogue pushing in. Are they going to be able to find some turrets here? Gary's back alive. Maybe if Shen can jump in, stun someone up with that rocket leap, Gary can follow. That's a real question mark for me here. Niv's back as well. Does have ultimate coming up in a few seconds. Hammy's quite low. Shin wants this one. Gary, he just backed and bought a Shatter Glass in the middle of this push.
Yup.
Is he going to find that opening? Nivmet, he tries to go in here. The active camo's there. That's under the fray. The damage on his Sips.
They got
one kill. Gary picks it up, but Shin and him are very low. Evo finds another. It's an ace for Rogue, and they look to push forward for the end.
Well, my Lord and Savior, Wizard Sibs, coming through with the W right here. You know what? They were one of the last teams to come out here in this tournament, and they really put on a show. It's pretty impressive stuff.
They really did, and of course, we're going to be seeing more of Rogue and all of the other pro organizations that have joined Vainglory for 2017 on March 11th when the Vainglory 8 returns. Super Evil, you guys won't be seeing them around in the competitive scene, and maybe that's for good reason. It was a fun game, though. We got to see some Grumpjaw. We got to see some Crystal Power Rona. I definitely want to see more of that. as we go forward.
Oh man, I mean the potential for what was picked up here is pretty immense. I think these guys obviously having some fun out there, looking to make the plays, get those 1v3s,